I think the literature has become perhaps trying to be clearer about measuring things, which is fine, measuring intensity, it's a much bigger field as well. I mean, there are many more people involved in this topic of small towns, rural areas, rural-urban interaction, the rural-urban interface, whatever you want to call it. It opens an incredible field of inquiry for a whole range of social scientists, geographers, sociologists, historians, the whole gamut. Can get something from this, because in a sense what it does demonstrate is how societies change, which I think fascinating. Things have become much more politicized. I think political decision making by the post-colonial state in Africa has meant that you have a new cadre or a new elite, a new political class that have taken over from the colonial class, and they've in a sense created perhaps a new fluidity, allowing for more permeability of rural and urban space. I think so. Not so many regulations. I think people have become much more attuned to the market. People are much more aware. Rural people, urban people are much more aware of the value of what they produce. And one of the big aspects, and this is a very recent and exciting development, has been the evolution of the mobile phone in Africa. Unbelievable transformation. I mean, it really has transformed rural-urban interactions and changed the way that people think and communicate with each other. So, for example, with mobile phones, traders can check the prices, the wholesale prices, for example, of grain in a market many hundreds of kilometres away. So they're attuned to what's happening. They're more up to date. To use a very unpopular word, I suppose, they're more modern. The other thing about changes in rural-urban interaction, linkage, whatever you want to call it, is the benefits that rural populations have got through education, through access to health. It certainly has improved, I mean, for rural people. That means to say, not necessarily coming to town to get these services, but the town is moving services to the countryside. And with that, another key word or buzzword for me is connectivity. If you improve access of rural people to towns and vice versa, improve access, connectivity of urban people to rural areas, then I think this increases the density of interaction. So yeah, I think, so this idea of remoteness or isolation, it's a relative term. I don't think we're in Africa anymore. There obviously are cases, but generally speaking, I don't think that places are, they may certainly be remote. That means to say they may be a long way away, but they're not isolated because they're connected with a mobile phone, but also with, rural roads.